So, the MVP race is a two-man race between Luka and SGA. So, let's decide who's the real MVP, and let's get into it. So, let's start off with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If we look at his numbers, he's already averaging 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Not to mention, he's also getting it done on the defensive side of the ball. He's averaging 2 steals, which is leading the league in steals, and he's almost averaging a full block. His team is currently the second seed with a 46-20 record, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has played 65 games this season. And if we look at his supporting cast, he has players like Chet, Jalen Williams, Lu Dort, Josh Giddey, some nice players to have around him, but I wouldn't say it's the most elite talent for like the MVP ladder. But one major thing I want to bring up for his case is last year, his team was the 10th seed and they had a 40-42 record. Now they're the 2nd seed in an even better Western Conference. That's insane. And I know people are going to say, well, they got Chet back, this, that, and that. That is true. But again, it kind of has to even out because they're in a way better Western Conference. And also, Shai's having a better season this year than he was last year. Also, Jalen Williams is having a better season. And yes, that is true, but I also think it's just because Shai, he just demands so much from the defense that it's able to get these two players their looks and their shots because they're so worried about SGA getting to his spots, SGA getting to the rim and getting an and one or getting to the free throw line. He opens up the court for everybody. Not to mention, if we look at totals, SGA is leading the league in points, total points, and he has 13 win shares. So, pretty good case to me, great MVP case. But let's get into Luka's case. Luka Doncic is having a phenomenal season this year. He's putting up numbers of 34 points, 9 assists, and 9 rebounds, which means he's leading the league in average points scored. He's played 58 games this season. He's currently the 8th seed, which isn't the greatest seed to be in, but if we look at his team, it's not a star-studded cast. He does have Kyrie Irving, but if we look at his team before the All-Star break, he had players like Kyrie, he had players like Tim Hardaway, he had players like Josh Green. These are not great players. But after the break, they got players like Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, who are great pieces to have and add on to the team. But I think if we look at this team compared to that Thunder team, they have, as I mentioned earlier, Jay Will, Chet Holmgren. If we look at the Nuggets, because Jokic is an MVP case, they have Jamal Murray and PJ. These players are now on the same level. And we can see how impactful Luka is to this team because when Luka doesn't play, the Mavericks are 3-6. That is not great. And they're already the 8th seed. So if you take Luka off this team, who knows where they're going to be. And I think that's another thing that you have to add to Luka's case. I think if you take Luka off this team, it's going to be even more impactful than taking any MVP off of their respective team. This team, like I mentioned, is already the 8th seed. Without Luka on this team, they significantly drop in. They're probably contenders for a top pick. So I think value-wise, he brings the most value to his team. But even if we look at Luka's splits this year, he's shooting very efficient. He's shooting 49% from the field, 37% from the three-point line. Like, this dude is a bucket this year. He's 2nd in total points scored, and he's 16th in rebounding as a guard. Do you know how crazy that is? 16 doesn't sound crazy, but as a guard to be competing for that is insane. He's averaging 9 rebounds as a guard. He's also 3rd in assists. Luka's having a phenomenal year. I think they both have great cases. Like, if you gave it to one or the other, I couldn't say you're wrong. But, gun to my head, Martians have the death beam on the earth. I'm picking
Iguodala.
Wrong segment, nigga. I think with the combination of everything, I gotta give it to SGA. Just the combination of his total points, his defensive side of the ball, his team's record compared to even last year, the value he brings to his team. Just everything to me, I think I have to give it to SGA. Don't get me wrong. If you pick either of them, it's not a wrong decision. But let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Who you think should be the MVP. Even if you think Jokic should be the MVP. Giannis. I better not see no Domantas Sabonis. But NBA Sphinx out.